What's up, guys? Welcome back to FRS Games, etc. I'm your host, Ryan, and it is so good to see you. Alright, so I was requested to do a gaming setup video. This is our setup in a nutshell. So, first of all, as you can see, we have just a basic table. This is where Jason sits, like I was telling you guys, directly across from me. Our router, a clock, the basics that you need. Now, here is our actual setup. So when I'm looking at you guys and you're looking at me, here is what we got going on. And I will put right here. All right, that was a description of the computer and its stats. But here we are. So we got this type of setup going on. And when you guys are looking at me, I'm seeing you right here through my lens, but right here is where I set my phone. So when you see me look off to the side, I set it right here. That's our lighting setup. There we go. Nice and bright, as you can see. Oh yeah. So it looks a little bit like this. Now behind us, you can see my backdrop, my green backdrop. Oh yeah. There's quality right there. Yeah, so that in a nutshell is our whole studio. And as you guys may have remembered, I used to write names down. That is my folder of all the names that we used to have. And I'll probably get back into doing that for the shout outs and whatnot, as we do our live streams and trying to remember stuff. It's kind of important. Our headset. Now here is the actual setup of the internals of the computer, like how we do our OBS and whatnots like that. Okay, so as you can see here, this is our main top here. Yeah, our screen. So here is our OBS Studio. Now, when we open OBS Studio, it brings us to this. Now, as you can see, we have so many different scenes here on the left side here, and then we've got our individual settings as well. So what I've got set up right now, we're using a setting in our NVIDIA control panel. You pull up your control panel and you can check out your global settings and program settings. I've selected OBS Studio, and this is usually on use global settings. If you switch it to integrated graphics, it allows this screen capture like this. Otherwise, it would be like a normal game where you have to go through and set up all of your very specific settings. Example, that's why I've got World of Warcraft, Undertale, Destiny 2, Roblox, Fortnite, those like that. I have so many of those individuals because I needed to have a different screen for each one. When I'm doing it like this, now that I've figured out how, I don't need all of these. All I have to do is have one basic one that uh, that does the basic display like you're seeing right now. See, if I shut that off, then we lose the basic display. So it's all run just through a basic screen share. Now, you guys have also been wondering like how I do the rest of my stuff. So we've got uh, our alerts. That's like when we have a notification that someone has subscribed. I'm pretty sure I got that figured out, so that would launch here. You can see it highlighted in red. It kind of gives an outline. Our sub count, I went to let's see here. We went to livecounts.net. If you Google live counts and look for your channel, you can get that. And then you just change the actual screen size so that it doesn't show the whole thing, but just the number. That's what we've done there. Then obviously you need to have a webcam. If you don't have a webcam, boosh, then I'm just gone, just like that. And then We've also got this one called Welcome Raiders. Now this is one that I edited myself, so if we get raiders, we can welcome appropriately. Now I've got all these different settings on this left side for when we're doing different things. Now right now we have it on main gameplay. If I switch it over to stream will begin soon, we've got our verse of the day, whatever I decide to choose for that. I changed that right here through daily. Let's see. It's in one of my settings right down in here. It's called verse of the day. Let's see. Because I don't think you can see it anymore. Let's see. So we'll add a display capture so that I can show you. Okay. So right here, we just added a basic display. You do that by going to the plus, and then you want to just select display capture, and it'll ask you what kind. You just go with a basic display. You can call it whatever you want, and it should give you this display capture just like that. Now, if I move this down, oh, you see now that becomes super confusing. But here you can see our daily verse. There you go. You can see our daily verse as well as stream will begin soon. Now I can cut out the daily verse, and then you can see stream will begin soon up on the top. Now I have created that myself. It's right here. And what I did there was I just highlighted, I took free wordings just like this. I wrote my own words in there so I could change that to whatever I want. And you can find that one. That's going to be text GDI. And you can adjust that to do whatever you want it to do. Now with mine, I've also done a filter, which is what the scrolling is. Here you can see we can do color key, sharpen, scroll. Now I've got it on scroll. I have it at 15. If I wanted it to go way faster, I can make it just zoom right along. But we don't need it to go faster. 15 seems to work pretty well. Now, we also have our intro. You guys know our intro. And that is just, yeah, so basically you come in through here and you find your, that's going to be a media source. So we highlight media source, and as you can see, I've got a couple different intros and outros and whatnot. This is where you insert your media, and when you select it, it's going to be able to switch right over like that. So I've got it to autoplay as soon as I switch over to intro. If I hit, I'll show you. If I hit the eyeball on the left here, it cuts the scene immediately. So just like that, how it pops it up, I can remove it. And it's the same with my intro, with my main screens, all that other good stuff like that too. Now we've also got our outro. You guys have kind of already seen the outro. Now I've also got a wheel or screen cap. That's when you see my face like you do. And I've got this attached. Let's see here. One second. Okay. Now we've got that. I've got my alerts on this one, webcam, and a basic screen capture. Now the basic screen capture is going to be any page that we pull up. So like we've got our Google page like that. Now when I turn off my basic display, it's going to have my Google page in the background. And with that, it makes it super simple. So when you come in here and you do this, you want to keep this, you can set it for whichever kind you want. I just keep it at the basics. If the first one doesn't work, open another one. And just you kind of got to just mess with your settings a little bit. And I've got match title, otherwise find window of the same type. And I think this is a very important feature because with it, you could pretty much do whatever you want, any games or whatever, anything that you're trying to find on the internet, that's where you're going to do that. And it'll all just kind of pop up there for you just like that. All right, let's see. Moving right along. Now we've got other things that I've set up, like a full-size webcam. Hello! That's where we do this. And when we have to get to business and use the restroom or whatever, I also have one set for be right back. So I have something that scrolls that says be right back, and it also has the daily verse. I usually put it on there. Now, if I scroll down here, you can see I've got a fan art section. This is where I take people's fan art and I put it in this one. And you'll be able to find that through basic images. So you'll select an image. As you can see, I've got a few of them that are highlighted. If you need to add a new one, you would do that, and then it'll ask you for the image source. So in a nutshell, that pretty much gives you guys a pretty good look at most of my settings. Here we will actually go into our settings. You can also change the way that your transitions take place. We got a cut, a fade, and a swipe, as well as the duration in between each. Now, there's also the option to do like a studio mode, where on this side, on the right side, is your actual what's going on right now. And then on the left side is where you can adjust over here, but it's not happening over here yet until you make the transition. See there, now we're on the right side, and it's waiting for the other one to happen on the left side. So you can see, you click stream will begin. Let's see, we need to turn off the basic display. There we go. Stream will begin soon on the left, but this is what you got going on the right, which is this one is your live. So when you hit transition here, it'll move it over. And then you can prepare your next one back over here on the left. Now this does require a little more CPU usage. Down here you can see that. So make sure that if you're going to do it this way, expect that it's going to require quite a bit more of your computer. I usually don't set it up in studio mode just because I don't want it to cause stream buffering and stuff like that. So here in our settings, we pull up our settings, and let's see, general. Most of this is pretty much standard. Where we get to the differences is going to be like streaming. So for me, I use, in your encoder settings, you've got a few different selections. I try to go with the one that's got the best quality. Now this one is the NVIDIA NVENC H264. There is also another one that looks just like this, except it says new after it. But I've had troubles with it in the past, so I'm kind of trying to avoid that one. But yours might say something different. So try to use the highest quality one that you can, and usually that goes in rank going downwards. I meant upwards. Rate control, I use CBR. Yours might look a few like this. I like controlled bitrate, which is what CBR stands for, because then you can adjust your bitrate and it stays right at that 2500. And you can also adjust it based on what you want, recording, streaming, all that, or you can keep it on basic and just let it do most of that stuff itself. As far as video goes, I try to keep it on 1920 by 1080. If you're having troubles with your streams, you might want to try lowering this down. It does make for a lower quality video, but at the same time, it does also mean that you get to possibly have a better chance of not having your streams lag. You can also change your common frames per second values. So it doesn't have to be 30. It can be 60 or even less than 30. I wouldn't recommend going lower than 30 though, because it's kind of important to have good frame per second value. You can also start and stop streaming with hotkeys. I don't have any hotkeys actually set up right now, but you totally can. I mean, they've got all these abilities, and maybe sometime in the future I'll use them, but not for now. Yeah, so that is the majority of my settings and how they work. Oh yeah. Now the green screen, as you can see, is starting to cut out. It's based on colors, which is why you can see my shirt is kind of wobbly right here. If you click on your actual webcam and you pull up the filters, oh, it doesn't show it at all there. There we go. You can see that I have chroma key set up here and many different settings. Now, if I take off chroma key 4, it just gives me the green background. If I highlight it, it disappears. The reason that that happens is because I went through and I found the color that was closest to my background, leaving as little error as possible at the same time. Now, you want the similarity isn't that important, but the smoothness is. Like, they both are. The important part is to find the right color, though, and that could take a long time. Just kind of play with it till you find the color. And as you can see, I've got multiple chroma keys here, and it's because I was trying to figure out which one works best. And this one works for me. Now, it's also going to be based completely on where your lighting is, because as you can see, if I step too far backwards, it gets all wonky on me like that. And that's why. Usually I sit right up close, so then the chroma key does what it's supposed to. All right. With that being said, though, guys, I think that pretty much covers all of the different facets of our setup and all that good stuff. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this this walkthrough of how we do what we do, and look forward to seeing you again real soon. Um, Thanks for watching. May God bless you and protect you. May He shine His face upon you and be gracious to you. May He look with favor on you and fill you with peace. Until next time, guys, be blessed. Know that you are loved. And just keep being the best you that you can be. Before we leave, though, we're going to go ahead and pull up Bible Gateway, which is where I sometimes get my Bible verses. And we're going to read a verse for the day. We have Galatians 4 through 5. It says, "But when the set time had fully come, God sent His Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship." Praise Jesus. You know, He did that for us. God gave His life. Jesus Christ gave His life so that we can have it and have the ability to come back to heaven with Him. And what this verse means is that we are adopted, meaning that we weren't His original chosen people. But He still wanted us to be able to come to heaven, so He created a way when there was no way by adopting us, so that we would also be able to enjoy in the inheritance that God has freely given us. I am just so very grateful that we get to go home. Guys, this is not your final resting place. We get to go home. And all that Jesus asks is that we confess with our mouth and believe in our heart. That's what the Bible says. Confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior, and you will be saved. And He has made it that simple, because based on our own abilities, we will fail. Always. But thank you, Jesus, we don't have to rely on our own abilities because you made a way by dying for us and taking our sins to the cross so that we wouldn't have to. Again, Jesus, I thank you. Thank you for doing what we were unable to do. For now, guys, be blessed. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.